Tea milk, 2 sugars. Tea milk, 2 sugars. Tea milk, 2 sugars.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, guys. This is Cyrus. I'm the proud sponsor and creator of Tea Milk 2 Sugars, a podcast helping parents be better parents, be more effective parents, and be happier parents. To make that happen, I've got Paulette Hallam, the fantastic author, best-selling author, and fantastic author of Jack and Walter series, Jack and Walter 2, Jack and Walter 2, Jack and Walter 1, 2, and 3. And the 4 is on its way. And I'll let Paulette introduce herself, and then we'll dive right into it. We have a lot to cover today. Please go ahead, Paulette.
Well, hello. Thank you very much, Cyrus. Paulette Hallam. I am somebody who reached the glass ceiling, as they say, in the corporate world, and then retired and ended up being a therapist, especially for my son, and then learning everything I could about counselling, therapy for children, especially children with SEND or any neurodivergence. And because of that, my door was revolving at home. I was offering free counselling after COVID because everybody needed it. And as a direct result, I couldn't handle it. So I thought, I know, I'll write the books. I'll get the paper, the pens to write the books. And then if we write the books, every child has got me in their pocket. And that's the whole purpose, and the reason that Jack and Water was derived was so that every child could feel like I was with them. Back to you, Cyrus.
Thank you so much. Welcome to another episode of Tea Milk 2 Sugars.
Tea milk, 2 sugars. Tea milk, 2 sugars. Tea milk, 2 sugars. Tea milk, 2 sugars.
Yes, guys, another episode of Tea Milk 2 Sugars. I'm loving this. Why Tea Milk 2 Sugars? Because that's how we like our tea. Tea, milk, 2 sugars. So, we're talking about fears. And parents struggle to help their children with fears because it's an internal feeling. It's difficult to handle. They find it difficult to express themselves and tell the parents how they feel. Sometimes they're scared to talk about their fears. That's terrible, isn't it? So that's where Paulette Hallam shines, and with her 3 fantastic books. By the way, it's not just the books. She runs the charity behind the books. And please make sure when you buy the books for someone, please buy 2 copies of the book, one for your own child, one for another child who may not be able to afford it. But all children have their fears, right? Now, let's talk about the title of the show today. How can I teach my child to manage fear independently? As a parent, your job is not to remove the fears. Your job is to help them manage it, right? So how can I teach my child to manage fear independently? So the most Googled questions, I've got 10 of them here. We've got 10 of them here. We're going to go through them very quickly. We're going to dedicate a couple of minutes to each question, and these are your questions, guys. These are your questions. And if it's not your questions, it's somebody's question, and somebody somebody's question you care about, share it with them, please. Number one, how can I teach my child to manage fear independently rather than always relying on me? Paulette, please tell us what's the best strategy.
The best way is always to teach your child how to breathe. So the first thing that happens when you go into panic is you stop breathing. It's just an automatic response. It's not helpful, but it's what we do. We preserve our breathing, we preserve our oxygen. But in doing that, you go into fear. You fear, stop breathing. So that what you need to do is to cope with the breathing is for deep breathing. And then we want positive self-talk. So as soon as that negative thought comes in or that negative message, immediately have a positive self-talk response and break the challenges into small steps. Don't try and go from A to Z. You understand there's 26 in between or 24 in between. You need to help them break it down into steps. Gradually encourage them to solve those manageable steps one by one by one. And by reminding them that you believe in them, then you believe that they're capable of doing it. Back to you, Cyrus.
Thank you so much, Paulette. Guys, remember, fear is data. Don't suppress it. Do not suppress data. Okay, so that's the best thing your child is conveying to you, right? Your child is telling you, "I'm scared," and your best strategy shouldn't be, "Oh, that's embarrassing. You're too old to be scared of this kind of stuff. Not at this stage. You used to be much braver." So don't suppress your child's thoughts or their fears. Just help them by, I don't know, perhaps applying Paulette's techniques. And if your techniques are better than Paulette's, write to us, please. Go to the comment section, please, and tell us what your strategy is. You could save a lot of parents, a lot of children, by sharing your thoughts in the comment section and helping other parents. Number two, the next question. How can I tell the difference between a normal childhood fear and a fear that needs professional attention? So people are sometimes unsure if it's a normal childhood fear. You know, kids are being kids, they're afraid of things because the world is new to them still. Or is it something that really is fundamental and needs professional help? How can we tell the difference? When are we supposed to ask for help?
So normal fears usually lessen over time and do not significantly interfere with daily life. That's the bottom line. Professional support may be needed if the fear becomes intense, persistent, or prevents your child from participating in school, friendships, or everyday activities like sleep deprivation or having the same nightmares. They're the kind of things that need to be understood. You don't just brush them under the carpet. Back to you, Cyrus, back to you.
Thank you ever so much. I was going to add, healthy fear shrinks with experience and advice. Unhealthy fear expands regardless of experience and advice, right? So that's one of the ways of finding out if fear is healthy. If fear is a normal childhood fear, or is something that you need to find advice for. If you need advice from Paulette, let me show you her information here. You can find her on LinkedIn. She's an author, ex-corporate sales director, marketing director, senior management, entrepreneur, business manager, and you forgot to mention the charity worker, Paulette. I hope soon you add that bit as well. That is one of the best things about the books that Paulette is working on. Not a single penny goes to her pocket. All of the money goes to the charities. And I am grateful to be a friend of yours, Paulette. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being on this show and helping the parents who need your help sometimes desperately. Um, Number three, am I helping my child by protecting them from fear, or am I accidentally making the fear stronger? Miss Hallam.
Unfortunately, protecting your child from every fearful situation can unintentionally reinforce the belief that the situation is dangerous. You can actually make the situation far worse. But offering support while encouraging gradual exposure helps build confidence and resilience. For example, I can't sleep without a light on, but if you go to a friend's house, they might not leave their light on. How about we go from the big light to the small light, from the small light, bedside light, to a outside in the hall plug-in light? And gradually, you've actually reduced that fear of the dark in a very clever, sensible way, which means they could then go to a sleepover without the fear of the dark. Back to you.
Paulette, before we go to the next one, can you explain a little bit about helicopter parenting? Because, when a child expresses the least, like the slightest amount of discomfort, the parent appears out of nowhere and tries to mollycoddle the child all the time.
Yeah, so take the idea of the, like I just said, the fear of the dark. The parent would phone the sleepover child and say, my child doesn't like the dark. Would you be willing to put the light on in the hall? And they need to sleep in the same room as the child. It can't be in a separate bedroom. And maybe you'd even go as far as to say that the child needs perhaps to, bring his own bed sheets or his own covers or something very personal. And what you're actually doing is saying, I will go out of my way to make it so comfortable for that fear that that fear will never have to be addressed. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you. Sometimes parents rush to help a child to alleviate their own discomfort, because when a child is crying or expressing signs of discomfort or annoyance with something that scares them, the parents think, oh no, not again, I can't be dealing with this after a long shift, right? So what they do is they try to solve the problem to get rid of the child's data, really. So that fear that is being sent, that's a signal that is being sent. That fear that is expressed is a signal that is being sent. So your that example, that darkness example, was fantastic. So the next one, number 4. What can I do to help my child build confidence when they're afraid to try something new? For people who just joined us, please remember we are in the presence of Paulette Hallam, the childhood fears expert. She has 3 and nearly 4 books to show you guys that he's done work in that line of work. Please go to Amazon and just search Paulette Hallam's name, and the books would come up. You know an author has made it when you search their name in Amazon, not just the books. So back to Paulette. So I'm going to display the question again. What can I do to help my child build confidence when they're afraid to do something new? That's a kind of fear, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is a huge fear. I think the key here, and I would say this very seriously, is when you praise your child's efforts for whatever outcome and celebrate the small successes, along the way, you are actually building that confidence. You are giving them that feeling of, oh, I did well. Oh, I did well there. Oh, they're pleased with me. Oh, I should be pleased with myself. Oh, that's good. That's called confidence, right? Encourage them to take one small step at a time. So they experience progress without feeling overwhelmed. There's a saying, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. The same principle applies here. You
I
build
love it.
confidence bit by bit. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Paulette. How do I encourage my child to face their fears without forcing them or causing unnecessary distress? You know, sometimes parents think just because they tell the child, oh, don't be scared, don't be afraid, they're going to stop being scared. That is a big ask, isn't it? So you can't tell a child, oh, don't be afraid, it's okay. You saying it's okay, sometimes it makes them feel like you're not even listening to what they've got to say, right? So now the question is simple, but the answer isn't easy. How do I encourage my child to face their fears without forcing them or causing unnecessary distress to them? How would you approach that, Paulette?
Well, I have. I would acknowledge the child's feelings. That's the first thing. The child needs to be seen and felt listened to, and that makes the child feel like they are connecting with you. You are understanding them. You are understanding what they're telling you. If you just ride a roughshod over that, then you are actually going to not get anything from that child again. They withdraw those responses. So acknowledge your child's feelings, make them feel seen, heard, and valued. Encourage them to face the manageable part, the small challenge at their own pace. Like I said, go back to the light. Okay, we'll turn the big light off, but we'll leave the small light on. Okay? That's the deal. And then we'll do a week like that, and we'll go from the bit, you break it down, you do it at their pace, you acknowledge that they are scared of the dark, and you're gradually taking them out of being scared of that big light going off to going to a small light in the hall, plug-in light. Offer reassurance and support without pressurizing them or criticizing them. When you pressure a child or criticize them, you are making them feel like they have failed. Fear and failure go very close together. And it's really important that we don't ever allow ourselves to make our children feel like they've failed when it's a fear that is actually crucifying them. It's holding them by by the neck and saying to them, I can't do this. And you going, it's okay. Just turn the light up. Be a big boy. That would be that would ruin a child's feelings of they could cope, they can deal with it. You need to be able to tell children you see them, you hear them, you value what they've said, and we take action at their pace. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Paulette. Also, to that fantastic point I just made, I just wanted to add, if your child is scared of some sort of performance, like singing, like your son Ben, Ben, let's say a child of yours is around, I don't know, 8 years of age. They get stressed out like adults do, only perhaps 10 times more, right? 5 minutes before the performance, you want to build them up, right? You want to encourage them, right? So you don't have to, and you shouldn't. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So praise the courage. Don't praise the talent, because the talent is the source for stress, right? when you shift the focus, you making another aspect of the conversation bolder, and you bring it to the fore, right? So the courage is not lack of fear. Explain to them. I know you're scared. I would be scared if I was in your position. You know, when I was your age, I wasn't even as brave as you are now, right? And you perhaps it's not a good idea to tell them you've sung this song before, you have had this, you have performed it a million times before. You shouldn't be scared. No, no, no. Don't focus on the talent. Focus and praise the courage. What do you think of this bit, Paulette?
Yeah, that's really good. And I think that apart from again, not focusing on the end result, what you're doing is you're breaking it down into that piece by piece, bit by bit. You know, you're saying, I'm so proud of you. We're so proud of you. Everybody can't wait to hear you. Don't make them feel like they somehow potentially not going to be any good. You don't want to be going, oh, you're going to be fantastic. You're going to knock it out the park. You're amazing, because then that's pressure. So just try handling it in a way that says, you know you're talented. We know you're talented. All you have to do is go out there, have fun. And if you do it like that, they'll be like, yeah. And I've been there and it works.
I know you have. You gave us that example, I think, 2 weeks ago or last week, when you talked about the county running, sprinting or running competition. So that Ben actually didn't ace that competition, but still took part. Okay, it's a massive message you send into that child when you focus on their participation despite their fear, right? Always when you're getting involved, listen, the message remains with them, not your words, not your exact words. The message, the outcome, the final. As human beings, child or adult, we want to control the outcome. It's out of our control. We can't help it, right? We want to remain in control and control the outcome, right? And it's so deep rooted and deep seated in our psyche. We have this expression, jump before you're pushed, right? We want to remain in control, right? And that is something that is deep rooted in our ego. But it is what it is, okay? Child or adult, we should not focus on the outcome, because the outcome is always out of control, always beyond reach, almost always beyond reach, and you can't do anything about it. Control is just an illusion, okay? Be careful with the message you send in your child. So, number 6. Oh my goodness, Paulette. What words or techniques can I teach my child to calm themselves down when they feel frightened or anxious? What words or techniques can I teach them?
Okay. So I'm even taking a big deep breath at this one. I'm going to talk about panic attacks for a second. Okay. When you understand what a panic attack is, it's the child actually physically will go into a state of uncontrolled breathing. So their breathing becomes rapid or it becomes very slow. Either way, it affects the oxygen going around the body. It affects their ability to even remain conscious. So that's why a panic attack is such a big issue. When you talk about breathing, the first thing you need to teach your child is to slow breathe and just count to 10. Just keep it as simple as that. There are many, many, many different systems, and I know of at least a dozen, but I don't know that that helps anybody in the moment. In the moment, they're going, what does she say I'm supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I don't want you doing that. I want you just to know, right, teach your child to slow breathe and count to 10. Can't be easier. They've got 10 fingers. Tell them to count to 10 and touch finger to finger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So your thumb and finger touch, that's 1, 2, 3, and so on. That will slow their breathing down regardless of what they're doing, whether they're going up or down. That will slow them down, regulates them. Repeat that calming phrase, such as, I can handle this one step at a time. I can handle this one step at a time. And that's a great message for a child to remember. One foot in front of the other, one step at a time. And that count to 10, they've got 10 fingers, one step at a time. That's all they've got to remember. Once they've got that into their minds, get them to practice that technique regularly. So, in other words, just say to them, what would you do if? And you'd be like, would you be scared? And you'd be like, yeah, really scared, like a lion walked in the kitchen. What would you do? Oh, I don't know. Well, think about it. What's the first thing I've always taught you whenever you start to feel anxious or frightened? I'll breathe. That's right. Count to 10. So do it with them on your fingers. And then you say to them, right, I'm going to handle it one step at a time. We're going to slowly ease out of the room and we're going to shut the kitchen door. That keeps him either in the kitchen or in the garden. Either way, he's nowhere near where we are, right? So get them to practice that technique regularly with you so it becomes second nature. The more you do something, the more natural it becomes. The more natural it becomes, the less stressful moments you will have. Back to you, Cyrus.
Thank you so much, Paulette. I love when you explain things. Your words don't just go through people's ears; they land on their hearts. That's what's really special about you. And I'm grateful for spending your time with the parents who are mostly concerned about how to raise an adult, because you raising a child now? No, you're raising an adult. It's just a matter of time, right? Before long, you'll find out that child is not a child anymore. You have only a number of years before you run out of those precious moments. Okay, please use them to your advantage. Use those moments to your advantage. Your child never remains a child forever. Okay, your child is 14 once. Your child is 15 once, right? Your child is 8 once. The next year 9. Okay, next year 10. So these are opportunities for you to strengthen their personality, their character, and prepare them. Who can help you with that? People like Hallam, Paulette Hallam. Remember that name, guys. So, in case you don't know what Paulette Hallam looks like, there she is on the screen. See you after a short commercial break, guys.
Fire!
Give me tea, give me lots of tea. My new favorite is a box of tea. Cups of tea, pots of tea, give me lots of tea. My new favorite is a box of tea. Give me tea, give me a box of tea. Can I please have a cup of a box of tea?
Milk! 2 seconds! Whisper boy.
My heart goes boom, 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 boom. Can't catch no sleep in this dark room. There's a witch out there on a broom. Zoom, anxiety's high, it's dark, cold, doom and gloom. Scared to death with my mouth button dry. Demons on on the ceiling, making me wanna cry. Absolute nightmare, this ain't no dream. I want my mommy, but too scared to scream.
Hello, just a quick hello from me. Just really wanted to say a massive thank you to everybody for supporting me and Charlotte on this journey. And this is massive to us, and it means the world. And every single person who's pledged to come to the event, every person who's pledged to buy the book, every person who said, yeah, we get it, we understand, we're going to do it for you. Thank you. Thank you for the children. Thank you for believing in me and Charlotte, and thank you for understanding that the money is going to go and help the right people, and the books will help people so much, because anything that's scary to a grown-up is so scary to a child. You can multiply it by X 100, and that's how scary it is. So thank you. I think that's all I wanted to say. Just a quick listen. I really appreciate every one of you, and all of you that have helped me and supported me and been part of my journey. Thank you.
Whisper Boy Podcast.
That was 2024, I think. Wow, time flies, doesn't it? So, we're going to continue the most Googled parents' questions. Parents' most Googled questions. And if you've just watched joined the show, guys, thank you so much for doing that. Thanks for spending your time with us. You could be spending your time anywhere on such a beautiful Friday, but you chose us and chose our community. You chose to be a part of our community, and we are grateful. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. The next question I would like to share with our community, predominantly with Paulette as well, who's going to answer it, is number 7. Could my own fears or reactions be influenced how my child responds to fearful situations?
I'm afraid 100%. Yes. Children learn to respond to fear by observing the adults around them. So staying calm and confident can help your child feel safer, more capable of handling challenges. I will give you a quick example. I am fearful of spiders. I don't like spiders. But I made a point of always trying to have a spider catcher and saying to my son, can you catch the spider and put him outside? So he didn't have the fear. He was able to go and pick up the spider and put it outside. Now, sometimes he'd come at me with it, and I'd be like squealing and jumping on the sofa. But that's just kids. But the point was, he hadn't got that fear. But if you're not careful, monkey see, monkey do. And a child will not only, I want to get this right, they won't only copy your fear, but they'll amplify your fear. They won't only copy your fear, they will amplify your fear. So your fear becomes their fear times whatever. So that's why it's really important that you don't pass on your fears. Over to you.
It's not easy, Paulette, what you just explained. Would you please expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to do is this. If, for example, you don't like, so you are adamant you don't travel in the lift. So you're in a shop, and it's three floors up to go to the cafe. and your son or daughter says, "Why don't we go up in the lift?" And you say, "Oh, no, no, no. It's really good for the steps. We'll do the steps, we'll run up the steps." And you're like, "Yeah, but I'd rather go in the lift. You got the steps, and I'll meet up there." And you're going to say, "No, no, no, you don't want to go in the lift either. Because your fear of getting stuck in the lift is now past what if my son or daughter gets stuck in the lift. So you won't let your child travel in the lift. Do you see? Make sense?
Yes, it actually does. The manner in which you are conveying that message to your child, to your son, to your daughter, also really, really matters. Some parents complain about a child being too fearful of everything, right? Trust me, it's not fearful of everything. It's fearful of enough number of things to annoy you. It's not everything, right? Because you can always see worse, right? It can always be worse. Your mannerism, at the end of the day, because of the fact that brain is a scanning pattern recognition system, always remembers and registers how you feeling, how you behaving. So you can't say, we are calm. No, you're not calm. Your tone is elevated, and more than likely, so is your heartbeat rate per minute, and that gets conveyed to your son. That is because over 95% of human interaction on a daily basis is non-verbal. So trust me, when it comes to handling your child's fear and helping them handle things, what you tell them doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. How you say it is what really matters. Are you calm when you're trying to address that fear? Or are you scoring high on being neurotic, right? So your child looks at your mannerism, how you handling yourself. That is what calms a child down. So when they are scared, don't run towards them. It's a figure of speech. Okay, I didn't mean... Even if you have to go towards them, you don't have to run towards them. Calmly walk towards them. That calms them down. And 85% of fears never happen. That's why they call them false evidence appearing real. That's fear, right? F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. Next, we're going to go to number... Thanks for number 7, by the way, Paulette. We're going to go to number 8. Ladies and gentlemen who just joined the show, this is Paulette Hallam, our children's fears expert. And how can I teach my child to manage fear independently is the subject of today's conversation. 17th of July 2026, a beautiful Friday. If you are in the States, what time is it in the States now, Paulette? Is it around?
It could be 5 or 8 hours.
Yeah. So good afternoon to our friends across the pond. And if you are in the UK, we're having a relatively warm day today compared to a few days ago. It's much more manageable, the temperature today. Number 8, Paulette. How can I help my child develop resilience so they recover more quickly from setbacks and frightening experiences? So we have being scared, and we have going back to the baseline. being normal again, feeling normal again. So how can I help my child develop resilience so they recover much faster than average or normal? What's your suggestion?
The same as I would actually talk to an adult, to be honest, is if I was having a therapy session with an adult, I'd say the same things. Encourage, I'm saying, I'd say to your child, encourage your child to view their mistakes and setbacks as opportunities. And if you were an adult, I'd be saying the same to you. You know, look at your mistakes and setbacks as opportunities. They're a way to learn rather than a way to fail. So stop thinking about this failure all the time, because fear and failure, they might be close together in the alphabet, but that's about as far as it goes. They're very different things entirely. Provide emotional support while allowing them to practice solving the problems independently. What do I mean by independently? So let's just say they come home with a spelling. I only got 6 out of 10. And you say, okay, but when I did the test at home, I got 9. Yes, but that was before you got to school and you got yourself in a bit of a pickle and you worried about it and then you couldn't think straight. Is that right? Am I guessing? And they'll be like, mind reader, mind reader. How do you know that? Right? But really, what you're saying is you knew it, you can do it, you just couldn't do it then because of outside influence. That is the way to see life. And if I was talking to an adult, I'd say exactly the same thing. Maybe not about the spelling test, but it might be about not getting the job they went after or not getting the promotion they thought they were going to get that's made them feel like a failure, right? It's about encouraging the child to view the setback as an opportunity to learn rather than to see it as failure. Provide emotional support while allowing them to problem solve independently. So I would say to that child, should we do the test at home? And I bet you the child would say yes. Do you know why? Because he wants to prove he can get higher than 6. There's your answer. They know they can do it. You've given them the opportunity. They wanted to do the test. You just put it out there as I bet you if you did it again, you'd get a higher score. They're going to think that through and go, do you know, I bet mum's right or dad's right. I bet I would get better if I did it at home. Should we do it again? There's your problem. It's been solved by the child. You do it again, you know they're going to score higher because they're not under that pressure. They'll do the spelling test, they'll succeed, they'll get higher than 6. Even if they only get 7, you praise and praise and praise them because they got 1 more. That's how you operate. And when you're doing these kind of little kind of games, they are games really. It's a game of encouragement. It's a game of taking the word failure out of a problem and putting in the opportunity to succeed. Taking failure out and putting the opportunity to succeed in. Back to you.
Thank you, Paulette. So fear is data. We're not there to remove it, right? And in terms of resilience, you can't stop your child from falling. You can never do that. You can't stop your house from being exposed to the elements, to the storms. You can build a stronger house, but you can't ask for a weaker storm, right? You can't do that. Storms happen as strongly as they do, right? Tornadoes. And you just rebuild faster, right? You build houses which are more resilient. Don't use paper this time. Use bricks. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Don't just remind your child that it happened last time. You survived it. this is the core of the message. This is the core message is remind them that you will not die as a result of this. Okay, but you have to be really diplomatic about it, right? You have to remind them this happened to your dad, this happened to his dad, and this happened to his dad. They have a full life, prosperous life. This happens to you. And by the way, probably will happen to your child as well. You're telling your child, when you have a child, okay, so shift the focus from them to something of them, right? Or something that they have been involved in. So you can tell them, so do you remember when you fell from your bike? Do you remember when you felt it was the end of the world? It's not. So you gotta, and it wasn't, and we're still here, right? So, and by the way, after this, there's going to be bigger problems. I'm going to be there for you. Just explain to them this is not the end of the world. They're not alone. Okay. Number 9. This is a good one as well. Number 9. What everyday activities can I use to gradually build my child's courage, independence, and problem-solving skills? And I love the fact that the problem-solving and skills are mentioned in the same sentence, because problem-solving, honestly, is a skill, right? And you know, when you see some adults who just fly off the handle and they just lose their cool, get angry, and they feel like, oh, I can't hack this, I can't hack it anymore, I can't handle this anymore. They lose it. Why? Because simplest of things makes them lose their patience. These are the same individuals who, as children, went through the same things, and the help that was necessary wasn't given to them. The consultation from the parent wasn't there. They weren't lucky enough to have a parent who would give them that advice, or they had a parent who did not know these things. Now, if you're a parent who doesn't know these things, Paulette's there. She's sharing it with you. Please learn it and apply it. If you know something better, please share it with us, because there's always room for improvement, right? So, Paulette, number 9. What everyday activities can I use to gradually build my child's courage, independence, and problem-solving skills? The floor is yours.
Okay, so I thought about this long and hard. And the one thing that I can tell you is it's quite an interesting one, but I thought it was worth mentioning. We have a box on the front of our house, which is like a pillar box, but you can put parcels in it, you can put posts in it, whatever. But you need to have a key, you need to open it to get the parcels or the letters out. Now, would I let my 4-year-old with the key run down to open the post box? It's on a road. It's not a particularly fast road. It's a road that accesses 20 houses, but it's used by villagers to leave. So there are people that sometimes drive a bit too fast down the road. Would I give my 4-year-old the key and let them go and open the box? No, I would walk with them, and then I would give them the key. And if they could open the box, I'd show them how they'd open the box. By the time they're 8 or even 7, they know about roads. They know about traffic. They know not to run in the road. They know if a parcel falls out and rolls out and happens to be a ball or something, I can't imagine what, but let's just presume it were, and it was to roll in the road, they would know to let it roll in the road and wait till the car drives past, and hopefully then go and pick it up and come back and bring it up to the house. So the reason I've used that as an example is very simple. It's all age appropriate. And building your child's courage and independence is age appropriate. So you give your child age appropriate responsibilities, encouraging independent decision making. So do I go and pick it up the road, or do I wait until the car passes? Or do I put my hand up and try and get the car to stop so I can get the parcel first? The child will work that out. Because you've done it with them so many times, they will know what to do. Let them try new activities. Let them say, right, okay, you've ridden your bike now without stabilizers around the garden, around the drive, around the little bit of road outside. How about you now ride it to the park? But we'll follow. We'll walk behind or walk alongside you. Then you let them do it by themselves. Gradually they'll go, look at me riding my bike to the park all by myself. Do you think they'll let me ride my bike to my friend's house if I prove myself? You see, what you've done is you've taught them the strength of resilience. You taught them the strength of confidence. It's buildable, like blocks. Back to you, Cyrus.
Thank you so much, Paulette. I was going to add to that and say, give them everyday responsibilities. Give your child everyday responsibilities. So, example, what are we going to have for dinner? Ask them, get them involved. When you get them involved, they understand they are worthy of decision making, right? Are we having spaghetti today? Or are we having a pizza, right? So, these are both your choices as well, right? So give them the choices that you want, right? They would still go with one of your approved choices. Here's the trick. As a parent, you need to remember that. Whatever you choose second, because brain is lazy, they will choose the second one. This is not set in stone. This is just a possibility. But if you want them to choose something you want them to choose, mention it second. This is a sales tactic, right? So, would you like tea or coffee? Well, that's a little bit raised in terms of tone. You add a little bit of vibration and excitement to the second one. More than likely, they would say coffee. Are we having pizza or spag ball? They're going to say, oh yeah, spag ball. Excite them, right? So, but give them choices. Don't just tell them this is your dinner and it is what it is, right? Get them involved, and then later on in life they will become good decision makers because they've had enough practice. They don't know that was one of your parental tactics, and they don't need to know that, right? You're the parent, you're the boss. Okay, show them who the boss is. Next, are we on number 10?
Yep.
What are the lifelong consequences if childhood fears are ignored, reinforced, or never properly addressed? So basically, if we don't solve the problem now, what kind of adult are we expecting for you to build? Let's go, Paulette.
Okay. Unaddressed fears become more persistent and increase the risk of anxiety, avoidance, and reduced confidence in later in life. So back to the lift, scared of the lift, not going near the lift, never going to use the lift. The escalators are broken at the station. You can either walk down, 300 steps, or you can use the lift, and you're like, I'll take the steps. You've got to get yourself to a position where you can overcome that fear, because you know that the chances of you getting stuck in the lift are 1 in a gazillion. The same with flying. If you say, I'm scared of flying, I'll never fly anywhere, then you're never really leaving the country unless you're going by a cruise ship or something. You're really limiting yourself to what you can and can't do because you're scared of flying. I think what you've got to do is give yourself the opportunity to try everything. You might not like something. I'm not saying you're going to like everything. I've seen people shaking as they're getting on planes, and I've seen people sit there with, tablets or things around their wrists, or gadgets, or bits of little small glasses of water given to them by air hostesses as they're almost having a panic attack as they're entering the plane. But they're still getting on the plane because they want to go to wherever, for whatever reason. The pull to go to the holiday, the pull to go to the wedding, the pull to go to whatever it is stronger than the fear. Early support and healthy coping strategies can help children develop resilience and emotional well-being. Ditto adults. Early support and healthy coping strategies can help adults develop resilience and emotional well-being. I hope that makes sense. Back to you.
Before we finish this one, can you please explain a little bit about, that concept that says some people have the skills, but they feel like they don't have the permission to perform or carry out their skill, right? So these things that you are teaching parents here, right? How? Because it's paralyzing when you're scared. It's paralyzing, right? And then the child feels like, we've been there, haven't we? The child feels like, I'm not sure if I can do it, or I need my parents' permission, or someone, or teacher's permission, or whatever. They're not saying it in words; they're expressing it in actions, right? And actions speak louder than words, right? Sometimes in sales, sometimes people say, sometimes customers vote with their feet. They just walk away from your business, right? So how can a child feel that they are permitted, that they're allowed to use the tactics and be the independent problem solver?
Okay, so going back to German 1, which was where we talked about breathing, talked about positive self-talk, about breaking down the challenges into small steps, gradually encouraging them to listen how to solve the problem. All of those things apply in life. They are life skills. And if we teach them at children and children's age from 4 and 5 upwards, then by the time they get to adulthood, they will automatically be problem solvers. I always used to say in the corporate world, I have no problem with you having a problem, but come to me with a problem and a solution. It might not be the solution I'll choose, but come to me with both. Which means I would encourage that person to independently try and solve the problem. That is exactly what we do with children. We're saying to the children, we want you to be independent. We want you to be free thinkers and have the ability to problem solve on your own. And that is a gift. If you give that gift to your child, you're turning them into a very emotionally intelligent adult. Back to you.
I just came up with this, and I just wanted to add that on the screen as well. Your mind is a house, and fear is a visitor, not the landlord.
That's good.
It's not there to stay, right? You are scared for a few minutes. You're scared for a few days. But at some point, you're going to have to go back to normal life. You can't live with fear taking over. You can't allow that to happen, because that's paralyzing, right? And teaching your kids to make calculated risks, to take calculated risks, is something that we recommend, because no risks, no rewards, right? So the greatest inheritance from you isn't wealth or education and a belief system or whatever. It's just understanding that you will overcome. That's just teach your child that, right? You will prevail, right? And look at my parents, look at my grandparents. They all live their lives, full lives. Successful, unsuccessful, doesn't really matter, right? What matters the most is that you live as a good person, right? And don't live and let live, right? And don't let fears take over, because your mind is a house and fear is a visitor, not a landlord. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for coming to our house once again. Tea Milk to Sugars is our home, really, and it's a lovely thing. We invite you to this show on a weekly basis. Tomorrow we're gonna have an extra session as well, 10 a.m. and me and Paulette are gonna put in some extra hours and come to you with more of your questions, because the number of questions that we are receiving to info@whisperboy.com has gone higher and higher and higher, and I'm grateful for sending your questions there. Regarding Paulette Hallam, I've already explained that. Am I doing this right? Oh yes, that's the one. Yes. So I've already explained that Paulette has 3 books. The 4th one is in the making. It's being created as we speak. So the third, so 1, 2, and 3. This is Jack and Walter in New School Niggles. So it's a very, very important book in children's psychology. The author just a second, sorry guys, let me pull this up again. Yes, that's the one. This is where you can find Paulette. On LinkedIn, you can find Paulette. She's a fantastic, a very important author, very important to us and to our community, for the work that she's putting in. And Paulette, how many hours a day are you in front of a camera?
9.
You are on. Are you retired now?
Yes.
That's you being retired. 9 hours. You're working 9 hours a day. That's the full shift, isn't it?
That's what my husband says.
So you're on TikTok. You're on now. You're on Facebook, LinkedIn, on YouTube. Yes, guys. Whoever's watching this show, please remember we're on Facebook, live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and we are proud to be the creators of this show, because you are a part of it. That's what makes us really happy, and that's what brings us back in front of the camera. And what we're doing here is important. Why? Because it helps parents. That's what really important. And if you're a parent watching this, you might be self-deprecating. You might criticize yourself in your own head, but remember, you're a parent, and parenting is not easy, right? You are better than what you think, and you are doing a great work. Okay, you're doing great work, and you're doing a fantastic work. And if you're a parent who has not left their children, you are parenting. Sometimes some people have to leave their parent because of the circumstances, have to leave their children. I'm not berating them, but what I'm trying to say is, if you're a parent, you are parenting, and I'm praising you, right? Please remember, not all children are lucky enough to have a parent like you. How can you celebrate that? Well, what you can do is you can dedicate a book from the charity to your child or someone else's child, someone who hasn't got a fantastic parent like you, right? The books are really cheap as well, guys. It's not going to break the bank, and but it's going to help a child who's dealing with fears, right? Who can benefit from this book? People who, little people, children who have just gone to a new school, have just come to the neighborhood, they started life in a new country. Wow, that's a big change. And English might not be the first language, or they speak English and now they're in a foreign country learning a new language, like, I don't know, Japanese, Chinese, German,
Foster children.
yeah, foster children. Yeah, can you please expand on that a little bit, Paulette?
Yeah, I mean, foster children constantly change homes. They either with somebody for 3 months, 6 months, 3 weeks, and they can be out of area. They're changing schools constantly, and you know that has a massive effect on the child. Can they make friends? Will they make friends in that time? If they make a good friend at the last school, will they make a good friend at the new? These are huge fears. That's why these books go into comfort cases, the charity that we talk about, because it's so important.
Thank you, Paulette, for the great help that you provide to the charities. You are giving a voice to the voiceless, people who don't have a voice. So you're giving them. I'm so proud of you, and you're not doing it for money, and you are actually spending money yourself. Every penny is going to a charity for children, and I am proud to be a part of this operation that you have, and I am helping a little bit. That's to the best of my ability. I can do more. I should do more, and I can do better, and I should do better. So I'll be more involved in it. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us with another episode of Tea Milk Two Sugars. We'll see you in the next one. 10 a.m. UK time. We're gonna have another episode. Thank you, guys, and take good care of yourselves.